Hey guys, it's Jessica with Southern Sparrow. If you just watched our last video, we were talking about how to deal, but that's not the number one question that I get asked. The number one question that I get asked is, how do I get better at choosing my hand? It seems like especially new players, but even girls that I've been playing with for a long, long time have a lot of trouble choosing a hand, and I get it. Look at this card. It's so overwhelming. Right now we're playing with the 2024 card. 2025 cards will come out in April. But as you're looking at these cards, it can feel really heavy to have to pick a hand. So after the deal, I don't like to pick an actual line or hand. I like to pick a section. So these are the tiles that I just dealt myself in the last video. And if you need to learn how to deal, go back and watch that one. But this is kind of what I got, and I went ahead and organized. So right when you get your tiles, the first thing you should do is organize them. And I like to put them in order of, first of all, any jokers, and if I'm playing with blanks, any blanks, I just stick over to my left-hand side of my rack. That's where I know we're not gonna pass these, we're not gonna discard these tiles. Left for me, those are my keepers. Anything that I kind of slide to my right of my rack, those are the ones that I'm gonna either give away during the Charleston or the courtesy pass, or the tiles that I'm willing to discard as we go through the game. So I've just gone ahead and slid my joker over. Flowers, you always want to hang on to your flowers until you've chosen an actual hand that you're going for. The reason that you hang on to your flowers during the Charleston especially is there are flowers in every single section on the card. So if we're following the principle of just choosing a section, then we're gonna wanna hang on to those flowers until we've chosen the line that we're going for. And you'll hear in this video, I'll use the word line and I'll use the word hand. They mean the same thing. Some people call these lines because it's just a line on the card. Some people call them hands. You can use it interchangeably. So here's what we've got. We've got our joker, we have a flower, we have our BAMs. I put them in number order as well. Then we have our cracks, then we have our dots, and I just have one little wind. So for me, since there's just one wind, I kind of already know, unless I get a bunch during the Charleston and decide to start hanging on to them, I'm probably not gonna be playing a hand that has winds in them. Now, remember that Mahjong is just about pattern matching. You're simply trying to match a pattern on your tiles with the pattern on one of the lines of the card. So start to look at the tiles and see what patterns am I seeing. The thing that's jumping out to me, and it might be different than what jumps out to you, but you need to look at the pattern that you see. But for me, in this set of 14 tiles that I have here, I'm seeing that I have a lot of odd numbers. So I have a 1, a 5, and a 9 here. I have 1s and 5s here. I have another 9. So for me, I'm going to choose this section down here, the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Those are all odd numbers. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to say, these are the tiles I'm going to collect for. I'm going to collect odd numbered tiles. I'm going to pass even numbered tiles and wins. Now, sometimes you'll change your mind during the Charleston. Maybe on that first pass, you get a bunch of stuff that aligns in a different way with a different section. But for me, during the Charleston, on this hand that I've got, I'm going to collect any odd numbers I come across and get rid of everything else. And then as the Charleston progresses, I'm going to see what other tiles I get and make decisions based on that. So let's do a mock Charleston, right? I don't have other players with me here today, but we did deal them in. So I'm going to take 3 tiles that I know I want to get rid of. I'll pass them to my right. And then I'll take 3 from this person to the right. You can do this at home if you aren't going to a Mahjong game this week or you don't have one coming up. You can practice this to just get better at home. All you're gonna do is sit there with your tiles, deal yourself 13 or deal yourself 14 if you wanna play being the dealer, and then do a mock Charleston. So this is my first pass. Let's see what we got. We got a 6 BAM, we got a 7 BAM, and we got a 7 dot. Okay, let's hang on to these 7s. We're gonna put them in. I still like to go back and organize my tiles after every Charleston pass. So we're collecting more odd numbers towards that odd numbered section, and we're gonna pass the last of our evens. Now, I typically don't like to pass a pair together or this many tiles in the same suit that go towards another section. But in this case, I still don't really feel like I have great direction on the line itself that I'm gonna choose from this section. So I am going to pass. I'm gonna pass across in our little mock Charleston. and I'm going to get 3 tiles from the person across from me. Now, obviously this person isn't here, so I can just take them. But again, practice this at home. You don't even have to lay out all your tiles. Take 13 out of your bag and then just start chucking them back in the bag and drawing new ones. So I got a 3 bam, a 6 crack, and a 9 dot on this second Charleston pass. Now I know I want to maybe keep these. If we were really collecting all odds, I'd kind of be in a dilemma at this point, right? Because now I don't have any tiles that I'm willing to pass because I have kind of only odds. I just want to pass this. Well, my option is either I look at my card and I start to choose an actual line, which I would say that that's probably a good idea for us. Or in the case that maybe I only have 1 tile to pass, only one that doesn't go towards what I'm trying to collect. I'm now on the 3rd pass of the Charleston. I'm going to do that first left, which is the 3rd pass of the first Charleston. I can blind pass if I want, meaning I have to pass this to the person on my left. I might wait until the person on my right passes me her 3 tiles, get them here in front of me and say, here's the 1 I'm willing to pass. I'm going to take 2 blindly. I can't look at them because that would be cheating. I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to blind pass them this way, and then I just get 1. So that's an option 2. But if I didn't want to do a blind pass, let's say that I just have this 6, then now's the time for me to look at what we actually have. And I apologize because I'm not really looking because I'm sitting on the opposite side of it. But let's see. Now that first line on your 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, well, it's all in 1 suit, or you can play it in 3 suits on the other side of the same line. So there's certainly some availability to play that here. I could play it in all 3 suits. I have 9s and 7s in the dots. I have a bunch of 5s in these cracks. So if I were to play that first line, I would need my 1s and 3s from the BAM suit. I would want my 5s from the crack suit, and I would want my 7s and 9s from the dots. Reminder, the colors don't mean a specific suit, like the green doesn't mean BAM and the red doesn't mean crack and the blue doesn't mean dot. Even though I've laid it out that way in this particular hand that I'm looking at here, you can play any color as any suit. The colors on your card are just telling you where you must change suits. So again, it's all about pattern matching. We're just matching the pattern of the colors. So I'm looking here, I kind of like that hand on that first line there for me. And my rule of thumb when I'm choosing a hand is if I have 6 or 7 tiles towards that hand, I'm just gonna go ahead and lock it in. So let's count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 tiles that fit this hand here. This 1, 1, 1, 3, 3 in a single suit, move to 5s in a second suit, 7, 7, 9, 9, 9 in a third suit. So because I have 7 tiles, not even counting my joker, towards that hand, that's going to be my hand for this game. So all I did, I haven't even gone through my 3rd pass of my Charleston, and I'm feeling really solid about my hand here. So now I have my joker. I have my 7 tiles that I want to keep for that hand. These are going to be the tiles that I'm willing to get rid of. So that's maybe in a continued Charleston. So we still had the 1 pass to the left. So I might pass those here and hope that my last pass from my person sitting on my right passes them to me and they work for what I've got. Now, none of these would work towards the hand that we selected, but that's okay. And then these are going to be the tiles that I throw right as the game is getting going. I'm willing to get rid of these all day long. And you shouldn't feel panicky if you have, you know, in my case, I have 6 tiles that I don't want, but I have 7, really 8 with my joker tiles that I do want. So I feel like I'm in a great position to start the game. I haven't even gotten through the Charleston, haven't even gotten to courtesy pass. So that is one way to play. Now, let's see if we were to rack up somebody else's hand. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Let's see what they have here. So we're just gonna dump these and let's pick up these tiles. Okay, we got a 2 and a 6 dot. We have a red dragon. We have an east wind. We have a south wind. We have a 5 BAM. North wind. Ooh, it's getting kind of windy over here, guys. So you're going to see, obviously, not every hand is going to be the same. Now I'm seeing I have a pair of 5s in the bands. I have some wins. I have 7 dots. I'm going to start to look at some sections again. Now, you could certainly make the argument, as we just did, oh, we've got a lot of odds again. So maybe that section that we just played makes sense again. And that's okay. You can play the same section over and over again until you feel comfortable. You can play the same hand over and over again. I have been playing with one of my very best friends for years. We learned together back right after Crazy Rich Asians came out. And she, without fail, every single time we play together, will play her favorite hand at least one game. It's just her favorite. And frankly, it doesn't make her more beatable because I know that that's her favorite hand, because she can play it reading the parentheses in multiple different ways. So if you have a favorite hand or you have a favorite section, don't get discouraged. That's not a problem. Now, if you want to challenge yourself, try to, when you get the new 2025 card, try to start marking your card when you Maj a hand for the first time, and that will start to highlight for you, oh, I'm mostly playing the same hands over and over again, and you can then push yourself into trying another hand, but don't feel pressure to do that. So, you know, I like this odd section. I might pick that again. The other thing that I'm noticing is I've got 4 wins. A lot of times people will avoid wins. This section kind of feels like it's all on its own. And so especially new players will say, oh, I'm afraid of the wins section. But keep in mind, there are 4 norths, just as there are 5 cracks in your set of tiles. So you're just as likely to get all the wins you need to complete a hand as you are to get all the numbers of in a suited tile to complete a hand. So don't feel afraid of that wins section. So, you know, if I were pushing myself, I would say maybe I haven't played the wins as frequently. I might say, let's keep the wins. Let's look at some of the wind hands that have numbers in them. Okay, well, I'm seeing something that has like numbers, right? This bottom line on the 2024 card has wins and like numbers. So maybe my 5s are what I'm going to keep, and I'm going to keep my wins. Remember, I like to put my tiles that I'm keeping on my left-hand side. And then the tiles I'm getting rid of, I'll slide over. So maybe that one makes sense. There's another hand on here where you have a number and then a higher number. So it's shown here on the card as 1 and 2. Remember that you can play that as 5s and 6s, right? So maybe this is what I hold during the Charleston, and I'm going to go for either this bottom line in the wind section where you have norths, east, west, souths, and then 2 like numbers in opposing suits, or maybe I'm going to go for this third hand down in the same section where again you have norths and souths, and then you have it's shown as 1s and 2s. I would maybe play it as 5s and 6s. So here I feel ready for my Charleston to begin. I know I'm getting rid of these. I know I'm going to hang on to these, and then I'm just going to see what I get in the Charleston. And that's when I'm going to start to look within this section to really dive deep into a single hand. I hope that was helpful. Again, keep practicing. Practice just like this. Do a fake Charleston with yourself. That's how you're going to get better and improve, and you'll be more ready for that next game that you go sit down at. All right, happy Mahjong.